Howdy, howdy, howdy. What's going on? Welcome to another Plus One Daily. Happy Monday to everybody watching this on Monday afternoon. Glorious Monday. Always exciting to start the work week with a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of motivation, and that hopefully you guys get a lot of value from what I'm going to share with you guys today. I'm going to tell you guys about 10 years. 10 years. Tell them 10 years. What do I mean by that? I'm going to share with you guys a little quote. This is pretty cool. It's from John Gordon, one of my favorite authors. He wrote The Positive Dog, The Energy Bus. Really good author. Highly recommend him. He actually came up with this quote. And this is kind of the theme for today. It's something we've gone over quite a bit, but I think it really serves to get a good refresher and to really tell ourselves this specifically at the beginning of each and every week. When people ask me how long it takes to become an overnight success, I tell them 10 years. It's John Gordon's quote. I always talk about staying the course. There's examples I like to share with you guys specifically today about a few success stories, but it's something I've said a lot. I've said stay the course. I've shared with you guys that, I started trying to make money online back in the 90s, late 90s. Spinning my wheels, and then I finally had a aha moment in 2003. It was 4 to 5 years of spinning my wheels and being a sponge and soaking everything up before I finally started making some kind of money. But you've heard me say this a lot. You've heard me say about staying the course. You've heard me talk about getting my start back in the 90s. I want to share with a few examples of some stuff that I came across. And this is not new information. I've addressed this before, but I really wanted to go in depth with each case study and just dig into it and show you guys that success, specifically overnight success, it happens. It happens all the time. It just happens over years, not necessarily overnight. So I was on Facebook this morning, and a friend of mine shared this, one of those, internet memes type thing, and it was talking about Kevin Hart. And I don't know if you guys know who Kevin Hart is or not. Hopefully you guys do. Well, Kevin Hart is actually now the highest paid comedian on planet Earth. He's actually the first comedian to overtake Jerry Seinfeld in income. Thought that was pretty cool. But then you dig a little bit deeper, and in this internet meme, it talked about how long it took him to get there. 19 years. He was actually selling shoes 19 years ago. So 19 years ago, this guy busted his butt. He kept showing up. He kept doing shows. He kept getting gigs. He kept doing all these little things that started adding up. And now 2016, he's the highest paid comedian on the planet. 19 years. But hey, maybe being a comedian isn't in your game plan. Maybe that's not something you really want to achieve in life. Well, let's look at some business success stories then. Starbucks, right? Starbucks, arguably one of the biggest brands when it comes to coffee, even though it's really hard to find a good coffee at Starbucks. You can get lattes and mocha choco frappes and stuff, but just getting a coffee is very hard. Anyways, I digress. Starbucks is a pretty big brand, right? Started in Seattle, Washington years and years and years ago. It's become an iconic brand. Howard Schultz is extremely successful as CEO of it. It's just a really, really big brand. It took them, this is huge, 13 years to open their 5th store. So now you go to any corner in America, Canada, around the world, you'll see a Starbucks. But it took them 13 years to open their 5th store. Oh, John, but they still had 4 other stores. They had 4 other stores, John. Well, let's talk about Walmart. Love them or hate them, Walmart's a pretty big deal on the planet. It is the retail giant. It is You know, it's responsible for a lot of good, a lot of bad. But let's be honest. Can we all agree that Walmart is a pretty big deal? They're in every small town, big city, you name it. It took them 7 years to open their second store. 7 years to open their second store. So we're looking at Starbucks. Huge iconic brand in business, huge iconic brand in franchise, you name it. It's a big, big deal, right? 13 years to open their fifth store. Took Walmart 7 years to open their second store, the Retail King. It took Kevin Hart 19 years to become the highest paid comedian on the planet. Maybe business isn't what you're into. Maybe comedian and entertainment isn't what you're into. Maybe you're into coaching or something like that. Well, let's talk about the greatest coach of all time, John Wooden. If anybody knows the story of John Wooden, the legendary coach for UCLA, responsible for big name guys, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played for him, Walton played for him. Pretty big deal, right? Pretty big deal in coaching. If you think of a guy that he came up with the pyramid of success, for goodness sake. I mean, this guy was just, he oozed positivity. He oozed success. Did you know it took him 20 years, 20 years to win his first title? Now, history will show after he won that first title, he kept winning and winning and winning and winning and winning. But 20 years, 20 years he invested in his team, in himself. 20 years to win his first title. Now, why am I sharing these success stories? Why you know, this is stuff I've kind of touched on before. I've talked about this, but it's the beginning of the week. And something I see a lot over the years in this business is the come and go attitude that people have in this industry. Oh, well, you know, this isn't working out for me now. I'm going to give up and I'll get back into it when I have some more money or this, and this. Do you know what happens when you give up? You go to the back of the bus. That's what happens. You go to the back of the line. And then you got to wait your turn again. Because there's people that do show up every day. And there's people that are looking at a 10-year plan, at a 13-year plan, at a 20-year plan, at a 7-year plan. They're looking like that and they're still staying the course. But in this industry, we seem to think that we don't need to stay. We can come and go as we please. We don't need to put in the work. We can just show up when we feel like it, and we are going to be absolutely successful. You know what happens, though? The people in front of you want it more than you do. The people that do show up every day want it more than you do. The people that actually put in the work each and every day want it more than you do. So you can sit there and go, well, it's easy for them to say they have opportunities that I didn't have, or they got the money I don't have, or that. Excuses. Do you think, because I've read a lot of the bio, like I've read a lot about John Wooden. I've read the Onward book by Howard Schultz about the history of Starbucks. None of these guys came from silver spoons in their butt. These guys worked their tail off to get where they are. So do you think that someone was looking at John Wooden going, you know what? I don't need to show up to practice every day like John is. I don't need to invest in my players and my culture at my team like that. You know what? I'm just gonna show up, once a week maybe and do practice. And you know what? I'm gonna give up and maybe, I'll go get a job flipping burgers and then I'll come back to coaching in 6 months from now. Is that the mindset of a winning attitude? Is that the mindset of any kind of success that you're gonna find? I mean, this isn't rocket science, right? This really isn't. This is not some kind of deep intellectual thing I'm sharing here. This is pretty straightforward. This is pretty much as black and white as it gets. If you want to be successful, you show up every day and do the work. If you don't, you make excuses and you come and go as you please. This industry is filled with come and go as you pleases. Very few stay the course. You want to separate yourself from that big crowd of negative Nancys and all that, depressing Dans? That's my new one, depressing Dans. Just show up every day. +1 every day. Do a little bit more each and every day. But if you really want to look at some success stories, don't listen to me. Go read Onward by Howard Schultz. Go read the 1,000,001 John Wooden autobiographies that are out there about winning, Pyramid of Success. Discover that. Look into that. Read about Walmart. Love him or hate him, Sam Walton was a really good guy. If you read the history of Sam Walton, now the Walton family now, that's up for debate, but read the history of how it took 7 years for Walmart to open its second store. 13 years for Starbucks to open its 5th store. Like, these are big, huge, massive, successful people. 19 years for Kevin Hart to be the #1 comedian on the planet. 19 years. So when someone says it's not fair or I can't do this, think about that. Think about that. Most of these people can't even invest a year into their online business. Meanwhile, these people are spending millions and investing in themselves each and every day to grow their brands and grow their companies. But it doesn't start that way. It starts with showing up each and every day. That's how it starts. Everything else falls in line when you show up each and every day. So, John Gordon said it. This is why I'm saying tell them it takes 10 years. John Gordon said, when people ask how long it takes to become an overnight success, I tell them 10 years. You want to get lucky? This is how you get lucky. You show up each and every day. You do the work. When everybody else is giving up, you're still there. Nothing. There's no science to it. Absolutely none. No formula. There's nothing. That's it. And then read up on success stories. Read the success stories of people that are doing really, really good at business. Learn how they did it. Learn, the pitfalls they had. You'll learn a lot of stuff. I'm telling you, go read any autobiography on John Wooden. It's mind-blowing. It's amazing. It's so inspirational. I did that book review on Plus One Daily this weekend about the power of focus. But Jack Canfield, Mark Victor Hansen, and Les Hewitt, Fantastic stories of perseverance and stubbornness, being stubborn about this. Showing up each and every day when no one else wants to. That's the formula, folks. That's the secret. Show up every day. Thank you, Brian. Listen, it is Monday. Okay? It's the beginning of the work week. A lot of people might listen to this show and go, oh, that was whatever. John's a talking head, whatever. I'm going to go surf some more. I'm going to go click. But then there's maybe one or two of you that are hearing this. Goes, I want to do something epic this week. I really want to dig into Plus One. I want to learn what the third day, what's today? The third? What's the third? Take a big risk. There you go. The third day of Plus One success is take a big risk. There's going to be one or two of you that hear that and get that aha moment and want to stay the course and want to show up in each and every day. Get better. That's what you do this week. You do that this week, you're going to have some amazing, amazing results on Friday. So thank you guys for coming and rocking with me. Be sure to share this show. Be sure to comment on the post below when it's up on Plus One Daily. Be good to each other. I will see you guys on Wednesday. Have a fantastic day. Enjoy your business. We're so blessed to be in this industry. And I can't wait to see you guys on Wednesday and see what you guys do with your Plus One goals and plans over the next few months. So have a great day. I will see you guys on Wednesday. Thanks for coming. Ta-ta.